33 minutes after the hour, special thanks to Congressman Mike Rogers from he's the chair of the Intelligence Committee for spending some time in the American Metal Roof studio with us this morning. We'll bring you up to date on what else is going on. The United States is going to hit the debt ceiling today. You'll know it'll happen about 11:30. You'll feel a slight little tremor, and actually you're going to feel a big rumble at 9 o'clock this morning, just before 9 o'clock, when Space Shuttle Endeavour will blast off for the last time this morning. Mark Kelly will command the 6-member crew on its final mission to the International Space Station. His injured wife, Arizona Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, we understand is already on site there at the Kennedy Space Center. We talked with Cape Canaveral a little bit earlier, NASA this morning. Hundreds of thousands of people lining the Florida coast there along the beaches from Daytona all the way down to Cocoa Beach to get a look at this last launch of Endeavour. And the shuttlecraft Endeavour, the Orbiter is what it's called, will then go to a museum because that's it. It's retired. That will be the 25th and final mission for that orbiter. The liftoff is scheduled for 8:56 a.m. this morning. Rahm Emanuel will be sworn in as the mayor of Chicago today. The Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, will be there. So, too, will the Transportation Secretary and the Education Secretary there, as Rahm Emanuel takes the place of Richard Daley, who retired after 20 years in office, sort of ending a political dynasty there for the Daley family in Chicago. Detroit 187, canceled. If you never bothered to watch it, you'll never get the chance. Set and shot in the Motor City, one season and out, I'm sorry to say. And an investigation has been launched into allegations a Detroit police officer had sex with a transvestite prostitute in his squad car while on duty. He has apparently been suspended with pay while they investigate what happened, but there were other officers who saw the events and reported them. And hopefully nobody has a video of that from their mobile phone. Lloyd Carr is going to the College Football Hall of Fame. Brian Griese made that announcement at a charity event in Ann Arbor on Saturday. We'll talk with Frank Beckman about that in just a couple of minutes. In the state of Michigan, Craig Godfrey's been talking about this for some time with Godfrey Weisberg, CPAs and advisors. There's a tax amnesty program. It's going to start today. And if you're behind on your taxes that on or before December 31st, you're going to get a chance to pay it all back without any fees. You're going to have to pay the interest, but you can catch up and get square and get that off your mind and feel better about being square with the state government. It's a tax amnesty program, and it's 45 days you'll get to do that. So see your CPA if you've got some hanging issues out there. Former Grand Valley State football player Jason Kinsler has died, collapsed on Saturday during the Fifth Third River Run Bank in Grand Rapids. He was only 37 years old, and friends say he was in excellent shape. He played for the Lakers from 1993 to 1996 and had been inducted into the Lakers Hall of Fame in 2008. So we're very, very sorry to hear that. Stanwood man near Tullybor, in fact, scheduled to arrive in court today, robbed a bank in Stanwood, and they got him 12 hours after he held up the chemical branch at gunpoint. The witnesses gave an accurate description and a getaway car. Now, it's tough to get away in a rural environment like that, it would seem to me. Wall Street comes to life this week after a lower Friday session, consecutive weeks of lower trading now. The Dow was down 100 on Friday, the S&P lost 11, and the NASDAQ was down 35. NBC announces that the Celebrity Apprentice will continue this fall. Does that mean Donald Trump is not running for president? Well, Mike Hughes told us earlier that NBC says Celebrity Apprentice will go on with or without Donald Trump. It's hard to imagine. Who could you get to replace Donald Trump in that role of telling people that they're fired and so forth if it weren't Donald Trump? I think it could put an interesting twist on the program. And I'm sure Donald would go along. I think he owns a piece of that anyway. But who would it be that would be able to fire people like that? And they're down to the last two, by the way, on the current Celebrity Apprentice. It's country star John Rich and Marlee Matlin, the Academy Award-winning actress. And next Sunday we'll see which one of those two surfaces. And then we'll also find out maybe on that last show how Donald Trump is going to spin the fact that he's not really running for president, or is he? We'll see about that, and of course we'll have coverage for you next week. Thor is #1 at the box office again, but the summer movie glut is coming now, and we'll be having a very big session with Ron Van Timmeren from Celebration Cinemas and have a preview of all the movies coming this summer. We never let the birthday of a beautiful woman pass without taking note. Deborah Winger is 56. Remember, she starred with Michigan's Jeff Daniels in terms of endearment. And Tori Spelling is 38 from Beverly Hills 90210. And Megan Fox, and the last name applies, is 25. Happy birthday, darlings, to you. Tigers were rained out yesterday, but they are hot right now. Won 10 of the last 11 and 7 in a row. And there was a 104-year-old woman who was going to be celebrating her birthday at the game from Michigan, Mary Johnson. Can you believe all the games she must have seen? Happy birthday, we'll say to her anyway. And she deserves it. What a beautiful woman to live to 104. The things she's seen. Use the ATM to get money out, and use an ATM that's not the one that your card is attached to in terms of the bank. You could pay up to $3.74 on average for using that ATM card. Now, that means some people are paying more than that if that's the average, like a $4 hit or a $4.50 hit to take money out. It doesn't seem like a very good deal, but when you need money and you're on the spot and you have your card, who's going to argue with that? I bet you I know where all the money is when it comes to ATM fees, the highest fees. You know where they are? Strip clubs. Strip clubs have the highest ATM fees. Do you know why? I'm sure of this.
I want to know how you know this.
Well, I'm just speaking in terms of logic.
Okay.
Because if you're a guy or I guess a woman in a strip club and you run out of cash, you're going to go to the ATM. You're going to want that cash pretty bad. And so if it's a $5 fee or a $7 fee, I bet you're going to pay it. So I bet that skews the average. Because, if you go into the Quality Dairy or whatever and you use an ATM and it's 75 cents or $1.75, that's not that big a deal. But $5?
In a strip club, huh?
Yeah, because that's when people really need it. Maybe casinos, too.
I was going to say, I would think a casino, but I guess maybe.
Because if you lose money in a casino and you don't have any cash left and you want to go back and get some cash and get your money back, win your money back, dig the hole a little bit deeper, you're going to pay whatever it is on the ATM, I think. So anyway, the whole point of it is you got to watch these fees and be careful. But the national average, $3.37 is kind of a surprise to me. Tom Izzo has gone to Augusta National. He was with Joel Ferguson there last week, and I ran into Joel Ferguson on Saturday night at the Accident Fund opening, and he said Tom Izzo got him on the last hole. They had a bet going, and Joel Ferguson hit the trees. It's pretty narrow there, and he said he would have beaten him if he hadn't hit the trees. But if you're playing off the 18th tee at Augusta National, there's kind of a chute of trees that you have to hit through, and Joel Ferguson loses to Tom Izzo on the last hole at Augusta National. Tom Izzo will join us tomorrow and tell us about his experience at the National. And then Alex Koss from Eagle Eye is going later this week to Eagle Eye or to the Masters and to Augusta National. He'll tell us what his experience is like when he gets back. And I met another guy who said no thank you to an invitation. Gregory Eaton was with me on Saturday night, and he said, I was once invited, and I said, no, I figured I'll go again some other time, but the invitation never came. So now, so far, we have Matthew Stafford, who told us he turned down an Augusta National invitation. Kerry Mitchelson from College Fields Golf Club, and Gregory Eaton are the three guys I know who have said no thank you and hoped they'd be invited again someday. There you go. Sometimes you got to strike when the iron is hot. It's Michael Patrick Shields. Frank Beckman will join us in 3 minutes all across Michigan.